Water.
All right, we just finished this section right here. Got a little bit more to pick up and rig up. I got to trim this, but here's the final section. We're going to clean this up here. This is section 3. See lots of stuff down everywhere. We're going to cut down this stuff here and throw it out here so we can mulch it up. But I tell you what, it's pretty uneven through here, and you can see there's wire. There's just stuff everywhere. A lot of people ask, Eric, why do you guys do this? I tell you what, this lady was being fined thousands of dollars by the city and the township. We had to clean this up. And you can see from earlier, the homeless, folks are homeless are taking over that. That's tore up as well. But kudos to the homeowners. They actually are giving them a week to get that stuff cleaned up and get out of there before they'll get arrested. So I commend them for doing that. I tell you, it's starting to smell.
But another one to reckless in Thailand. Boom, 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 stream again.
So I saw this homeless camp on the side of the road. It looked like a regular homeless camp. No big deal. Been to dozens of them by now. Trash everywhere. Smelled like shit. Figured I'd just tiptoe in there, get some footage, talk to a few people, get out of there. Just like usual. This place is fucking wrecked.
What is the office?
There's something different about this place. It's getting a weird vibe. Didn't feel like what I was used to.
What's up, man?
And then this guy right here just came out of nowhere. Just appeared. For a split second, I saw his beady little eyes and his meth mouth. And then, the knife. What? That guy just had a knife. Alright. And that's the last time I do a homeless camp. What the damn hell, Anchorage? What is happening here in Alaska? I spent a week in Alaska driving around, and some of that time was exploring the homeless crap here. It's all over this place. It's taken over Anchorage, and it's all everyone here is talking about. The West Coast infection has now reached the fingers and the toes. So tell me, how did that place impact you?
Well, so when over 300 homeless individuals set up well over 200 camps, they brought all kinds of chaos, drugs, violence, propane tanks were exploding in the middle of the night, gunshots every single night. It had a serious impact on my business directly across the street.
Well, that guy's pissed. That's Rob. He's an Anchorage guy. He lives across the street from what was the worst nightmare you can think of. A nasty 300-person homeless village filled with the most troubled people in Alaska. Right across the street from his house. Well, they're gone now. When I was here, they were scattered all over the city in little mini villages. The city put a big fence up, which should keep everyone out. But you never know around here. There's more than 3,000 homeless people in Anchorage now that they counted. That's 1 out of every 100 people here is homeless now? What? It's true. And now this is the 6th worst city in the nation for homelessness. And you probably didn't know that. Then you drive around Anchorage for a day and you'll see it all over the place. Homeless camps along the creeks, in the woods, in downtown, on the sides of the highway, on cliffs, in the parks. It's terrible. It's just getting worse. Now things are no different here than they are where you live. The more money they spend, worse it gets. The latest plan here is they just rip down the camps as soon as they pop up. Homelessness is illegal now, the city fumes. The Supreme Court said, so go somewhere else. That doesn't ever work. Nothing works.
Sabi ko sa'yo na maasahan dito. Nasubukan ko ito mga pataas na konta. Mababang interest.
Food, travel, hotels, leisure.
Now, Alaska has its own unique challenges with homelessness. For one, in wintertime, it's terrible. And every spring when the snow melts, they find bodies of homeless people who have passed out in the snow and got covered up by snowplows. Plus, they have to worry about bears getting into these camps. These are filthy. Happens all the time. Bears come in, the city has to come in and shoot them. Sucks. Well, last winter, Alaska threw its entire homeless population into the city's downtown arena so they wouldn't freeze. Well, they ruined it, as you might expect, and the neighbors hated it, as you can imagine. For blocks, it was alcohol abuse, drug abuse, rapes, trash, pooping and peeing, gunshots, thefts. So this winter, Anchorage is talking about putting them in hotels again. That's because the city's big plan to build cheap housing for all of this is way behind schedule. So where I am right now, this is a homeless camp that I found at one of their city parks. And all these people are here because they got thrown out of their other homeless camp that was down by the Home Depot a few blocks away. This was all temporary, I was told. The city's going to come back in 72 hours and throw us all out again, they told me. I think that's why the whole camp was on edge when I got there.
Oh, I don't want to be on home.
You don't know about it? I ain't pointing at you, brother. So I came back to the same spot a couple weeks later, and sure enough, they were gone. This is where they were. She said 72 hours, this is where the sketchy people were at, where the dude told me he was gonna break my camera. Okay, there's some, a little bit over there. Maybe you can see that. But they're gone, so there you go. That's that. Spice and meth, fried brains, and crazy town. The big drug surge up here is because of fentanyl, everyone. Straight up from Mexico. You can thank Joe Biden for that. The Mexicans saw an opportunity up here. They were like, hey, there's nobody strung out up in Alaska. Let's go up there. You got a free market. So as a result, the OD rate here in Alaska, it rose faster than any other state last year. Then the state senator here said, Alaska's under attack not too long ago. So does everywhere else in the U.S. And so now you have drunk natives and fentanyl junkies on Anchorage streets.
People parking literally right where we stand. People were parking here, walking across the street, and either buying or selling drugs. So that the fentanyl flowing in and out of all of the side streets in and out of the property was absolutely insane. We would find drug paraphernalia on our driveway, on the side streets, and the curbs and gutters. I mean, that was a regular daily occurrence. So those were, the kinds of things that was just going on nonstop.
So they shut that down. How did you feel when they started getting those people out of here?
Relieved. We had, during most of COVID, it was relatively quiet around this 3rd Avenue area. And it was really sort of a breath of fresh air. It gave us all a chance to kind of, take a breath, relax, focus on our properties and focus on our businesses and less on, protecting them from things that were happening on the streets.
I don't think there's a quarter in this country that doesn't have this type of suffering in it anymore. A lot of this is misery and horror that you'll never know. It's lawless, violent, desperate here. It's cruel. Third world horror in a nation with first world resources. And I know that firsthand. I almost fell victim to it myself. So here's that camp I went into again. It was seriously like I was entering the gates of hell.
There's homeless people all in here. This has been a spot that they've all been gathering at since Davis Park, except in kind of the Fairview part of town, which is already sketchy. But it is. It's bad over here. Here we go. Is anybody in here I could do like an interview with for a story I'm working on? Yeah. What?
So I went to step back, and I slipped in the mud and almost dropped my camera. Lost all my street cred with that one. Felt kind of like a fool. Thing is, I had the gun in the car, locked and loaded, but I didn't bring it with me. But looking back, if I had pulled it out and got all badass John Wayne with the dude, could have gone down super bad. There's shootings in these camps all the time. The place reminded me of that underground village of Demolition Man. And here's what's crazy about that. So weeks before, I used a somewhat clickbaity title to get some of you guys to watch another homeless video I did in Anchorage. I was kind of chased out of another homeless camp, but it wasn't very dramatic. The guy did threaten me and said he was going to break my camera. And then I was almost stabbed and thought, well, I guess I can't use I got chased out of a homeless camp as a title again. Jesus. Go ahead.
Here in the Philippines, the
That's the
people
last time I
have
do a
small
homeless
house.
Yeah, that guy fucking pulled a knife out.
It's not a problem.
And that's gonna be it for me. I'm retired from homeless camp, folks.
The Davis Community Homeless Camp in Anchorage. Never thought Alaska would be the one that knocked me out. The underdog. That's just the way it was.
And that's it.
And it's scared to go in there
That has
because
never happened
you
before.
really will asking you money.
Anchorage.
Huh?
Y'all talk
Or
sketchiest.
foods,
The guy
right?
was pulling a knife out of his translator, was gonna get stabbed.
Yep.
He could have got hurt really bad.
So, that was a sketchy time. I was in there walking around. Definitely should not have been in there. That is fucking scary, sketchy shit. I've been to some homeless camps in my day, and that's probably there's just a vibe in there, and people were just like, it feels like hell in there. Like if there was ever a hell, I want to put the drone up right now, but I'm gonna get out of the way. But this is just fucking crazy out here. I mean, you got angry, you got motherfuckers. This is just, I'm not kidding. I have seen some shit in my day. And Anchorage, I did not know Anchorage had it in it. Like, there are just so many fucking sketchy people with guns and knives and just absolute
Carry a gun and a knife on
terrible situation right now.
Your ass is either gonna get shot.
I am going to get my drone
So you better hope you can protect yourself.
Uh-huh.
and fly it
Because if
over
you
that
can't,
camp
well,
just to kind of get an aerial.
too bad.
But oh
You'll
my
end up in the
God,
hospital.
what the hell?
What the hell?
That was some crazy shit, and I am done.
Just off the light in the
I am
outside.
done. Man, Anchorage, like, I mean, God, this place is, it's evil. There is an evil feeling in this town.
He's gonna watch that for a while. He's gonna run into more people than that.
You think it would be la-di-da land? It is not. I mean, everywhere you freaking go here, there's sketchy people, and it feels like they know they're being recorded or watched, like they're like always on alert. Like they're always all-knowing, homeless, sketchy, evil, angry, criminal, druggy people. I don't know how to explain it, but it's like you can't record anybody without them catching you or looking at it, getting mad, and everyone's fucking pissed off. Jesus Christ. So after that happened, I drove around and tried to offer some thoughts. I was also driving around trying to find a place to fly the drone so I could see that misery from above. There's airports all over Anchorage, so there really was nowhere I could fly it above that pit.
Yep.
Get the top restaurants in town delivered straight to your door. Download the Food Panda app and order food you love.
Save up to 20 on a wide range of products on Alibaba.com. Hurry and check out the details.
As I say for the first time here, I have not seen him yet. What's up, man? Oh, there he is. That's him right there. Sirens, more sirens. This fucking place is crazy. I've always said I'd much rather have a confrontation or get cornered in some urban ghetto. You can reason with folks in ghetto. There's no reasoning with these people at all. In Alaska, it just threw me off. In California camps, people are just sitting around bored. You can walk up to them, have a conversation. They'll talk to you. You can hang out for hours. Some of them are pretty smart. Over in Hawaii, just about everybody out there is just laying around in the sun, smoking weed. Not here. These people are dumb, angry, mean, always looking around. A friend of mine said they're like squirrels. I think a lot of them were hiding from something. Child custody owners, felons, skipped trialers. They see a camera and nope. Plus they're all strung out and winter's coming. Okay. Don't trash Alaska. Do those countries let you down?
Oh, we're so spoiled here. No. Compared to other countries, we're spoiled. And that's part of the problem too. You know, I mean, these kids in their 20s and 30s, what are you doing in town in a homeless camp right now?
So I met a bunch of homeless people when I was here. Here's one of them. There was this guy named Bradley. I felt bad for the guy. He seemed a lot different than most of the other people I met in Anchorage.
Is the problem getting worse in Anchorage? I hear it's getting really bad with the number of people on the streets.
Well, this is the thing. And I was getting to this zone. You need trailer parks. You need R5 zoning so someone can put a trailer on there. Use it as a step to either build a house or move it out to a piece of property somewhere. You want to sell you $1 million house. The bankers and the realtors are running.
It's a scam.
Well, you know, that's a big word. So let's put it this way, I grew up around money. And these guys, they sit and drink martinis on Saturday night. So,
All the people in charge of real estate.
yeah. Then you have, some people just want to camp out.
They just want to live on the streets.
Yeah, they want to, I mean, there's some of these natives, they come in from the bush. They've been camping out all their life, you know? Now you're gonna tell me they have to rent an apartment? So, you know, that's what they do. They go out hunting and fishing and boat all day.
And by the way, I'm going to put all of these interviews uncut on my memberships page. You can join as a member for as little as $2 a month. You can see a lot of the stuff that doesn't air on this channel. Like this complete interview. And then there's this guy. I met him when I was poking around, checking out all the people that were living in the woods behind his house. You can't even walk around the parks anymore here without having to worry about getting killed or raped or stabbed or whatever.
How do you feel about having homeless camps right next door?
Well, I don't like it, but you know, people have to live somewhere. And the city has cleaned up all of the little trailer parks that used to exist all over Anchorage, where people who didn't have much money could have a place to live. But they've taken them all down and turned them into housing. So now the people who used to live there have to live somewhere else. So they live in tents. I wish the city would pick up. I wish the city would take care of the garbage. And I wish the city would help people find a place to live. That's what I think.
Have you ever had any problem? Like, I know a lot of the neighbors over by the arena were frustrated when they put them all in there and all the stuff that happened. Do you have any problems? Have you had any?
It depends on the group. I mean, you know, folks that are homeless have problems with alcohol. They have problems with mental health issues. They're not getting treated. They're not getting supported. So yeah, you've got some people that have behaviors that aren't very nice. Sometimes they're pretty good. This group that's here right now seems to be cleaning the place up and they're quiet. So I don't really have a problem with them. But in the past, yeah, there have been problematic ones. We call the police. The police come. So.
Why don't they put us all in igloos?
I don't know, Abby. I guess that'd be pretty cheap. That'd be pretty cool to see igloos on the sidewalks here. Might even keep the bears out too. Wouldn't be very humane.
They could make a big giant igloo and put everyone in there.
Nappy, I think you should run for governor of this state. You can't run looking like that. Actually, you probably can here. They say 20% of the people out here are minors, which is super high. I do this for a living, and I hardly ever see any teenagers living on U.S. streets. Like, ever. The local business owners, they say the vandalism and the people peeing and pooping downtown makes it so tourists don't want to come down here anymore. and they need people to come down here. Bad. Big problem is the native Alaskans. A lot of them are alcoholics, and they cause problems in their village. So the villages just throw them out, ban them forever, put them on a bus ticket straight to Anchorage. Then they wind up down here. They don't have any support. They can't figure anything out. They wind up blowing all their oil money on vent and booze. In most cities, there's plenty of room in the shelters. They have support, counseling. It's just the people don't want it. In Anchorage, shelters are full, and the mental health system up here is a disaster. And there's no money left. They're just way overwhelmed here. Maybe that's why all these people are on edge. Oh, where's the support? Need help. I'll go down to California, take care of you. There's people out here working, trying to stay alive. A lot of them are just junkie thieves out here looking for opportunities, looking for a fix. So far, they've spent $200 million on the homeless crisis in Alaska, and it's just way worse. That's the California playbook. They say 7% of the people in Anchorage are using up half the city's resources. $100,000 per homeless person for food, shelter, support. And it just draws more of them in. It's just too expensive for a lot of these people. And they're stuck here because we're in Alaska. It's hard to get home. The mayor also said, let's just send them all back on a one-way ticket out of here. Well, that'll do it. Send them to Seattle. I think that's the best idea I've heard. Houston got a lot of credit for solving homelessness. They put theirs in permanent housing. Now they're technically not homeless anymore, but I don't know how long you can pay for that. But Houston also has a lot more money, a lot more room to get their people on the streets.
Inisip ko saan ako manghihiram ng pera. Nung naisip ko at nakita ko, nag-pop up nung sa FB ko yung tala, go for it. Hindi ako nagdalawang isip. Check mo, tala apps. Tama-tama at nakakapit ako ng pagkakas ng bayad. Naku, alam mo ba, magtutulong sa akin yan. Sobrang may tulong ng tala. Kaya sa tala, buo ang tiwala.
Anchorage said that they want to add 150 housing units each year here for the homeless. Well, at that rate, it only take 20 years to get these people off the streets, if no more show up. And I think more are going to show up. I think the only solution is to capture these people one by one and force sobriety on them, and then help them slowly transition back to society. It wouldn't be easy. It'd be like a triage. Force people to change their lives. But most of them are like wild dogs. Can't be captured, can't be tamed.
What's going on? Here's what all the sirens were all about. I don't know if that was a wreck or what. That is a lot of police activity. What's going on? Alright, so this is just tragic. Old lady just said that somebody ran over a kid and took off. And they're literally doing CPR on him right now on the ground. Anchorage is freaking evil. Do not ever come here. This place is cursed. Alright, so I'm gonna see if I can fly the drone right now. It's over by Air Force Base. The bombs are all back there. But so there's where the bombs are, right here, and all this is
pink and orange, which usually means you can't fly. I don't think I can get this drone up. Well, that's probably a good thing, because I don't think I should mess around over here anymore. I just think it's like screwing with the demon. I think I should just let that rest. And, you know, here you go. Last look at the homeless camp here. There's some here, and then all the really nasty, naughty devil land is past that on the other side of the fence where those trees are. But it is just, I mean, it's like they've taken over. They're circling on bikes. It's literally like hell in there. I'm not kidding. It is absolutely evil and unruly and unlawful. And you and I are not allowed in there. They've taken over a huge chunk of Anchorage and are running out anybody that they don't like, that they don't want in there. And they'll shoot you, they'll stab you. It is just absolutely just incredible that in America, in a free country, that you cannot walk somewhere that you don't want to walk, and there's nothing anybody can do about it. Cops refuse to do anything. It's a lawless land in there that they decide the rules and who goes in and out. That's it. So we're in their line of drugs right now behind that fence. And there you go. That's it. Back here, the devil's doorstep. Outside, circling around on bikes, were the winged demons watching over the gate to hell that I went into. In that 2-acre pit, I felt more angry, evil energy in the air than I've ever felt. But back at that moment, I thought, I just looked into the eyes of the demon. But hours later, I thought about it. I was like, you know what? I think I've been pushing this way too far and getting way too comfortable in these camps. Like, I thought I had it all under control. And I know you guys have commented on that. Nick, you're going to get it one day. Those places are dangerous. I'm telling you. I don't think that was a devil. I think that was something telling me, you need to stop doing this. Turn around and never come back. Maybe it was a guardian angel. This place needs some help. And it's a spiritual, it's not a financial, and I'm not a religious guy. Hey, I'm not a religious guy at all. I don't believe in a lot of that to that extreme. You know, pray, they need Jesus. This place needs something. Because it is not in a good place, and I have never really said that for really anywhere else I've ever been except for Oakland, California, and I kind of feel the same way about this place that I do Oakland. I'm officially done in Anchorage with homeless shit, and I think I'm going to be done with homeless shit for a long time and anything else I do. There you go. The most unpredictable, surprisingly random, chaotic, evil, troubled place I think I've ever been outside of parts of California. There you go. Anchorage, Alaska. And it's such a beautiful place, too. It's surrounded by mountains, and there's airplanes flying overhead, and creeks and oceans, and some of the most beautiful land in the country. And it's just absolutely ruined. At least this part is right here in Anchorage. Well, hey there, Johnson fans. So YouTube's pushing this whole membership thing now. And I think it's great. So I set one up for this channel. If you want to be a member on this channel, you can only do it on your computer right now. It made it hard for some reason. So go hit join right there. You can support the channel and join various membership tiers. I'm excited about it. So I'm gonna post all sort of behind the scenes content, extra interviews, fun, happy stuff, bonus songs, more. Just some extra stuff that doesn't make it on the new channel. So think about becoming a member. Hello, everyone.
You should join. I did.
Are you looking to move and need advice? I do consulting. That's right. I'll sit down and talk about where the next perfect place for you and your family should be. I do it all the time. Together, let's find you a new home that's safe and checks all your boxes. And I can also help you find your new house, too. Email me and I'll work with you. I'm not just helping you figure out where to move, but I can help you find your perfect home, too. That's right. I know awesome, reliable agents all over the country, and I'd love to connect you to somebody who can help you search for that perfect home. And if you want to buy some Mackie gear, click the store link on my homepage. From there, you can check out the latest merch. There's hoodies, coffee cups, stickers, shirts. Show off how much you love Mackie and support the channel. And I'm on Cameo too. If you want me to send you or somebody you know a personalized video message, go to Cameo and search Nick Johnson YouTube. It's fun.
Hey, YouTube world, I'm Sadie, Nick's manager. You've enjoyed a Prayer House Entertainment production, so watch another one.
Hey guys, if you learn something new about America or what it's like to live in America, great. You should think about subscribing and turning on your notifications. You can also click one of these videos or playlists for more. Somebody told me it's normally not this cloudy up here. He said Barrow's usually sunny, right? So in another dispatch, I introduced this strange man to YouTube. I showed you what the place looks like, and how it runs, and what in the heck everybody here does, and why they live here. All of it. It's fascinating. The most interesting city I've ever visited in the northernmost point of the USA. Then you drive around these small Alaskan villages, and you see the struggle of the people that are holding on to their culture. A lot of the natives here make a lot of money, and they live in conditions that don't look like they make a lot of money. There's a lot more to this place. That's the part that got me all like, what? There's a part two, Barrow. So Kim and I rode with a local named Mike Schultz. Mike's been in Barrow as long as anybody else has. Mike took us on a tour of this tiny little Alaska village for an afternoon, and none of that tour was featured in the first video. I'm going to show it to you now. We came up here at the very end of Barrow's summer, but it was still in the 30s. We gave away a perfectly good summer weekend to feel like I was at the North Pole.
If you don't have pilings, you don't get running water. In order to get running water at your house, you have to be on pilings. If you don't have pilings, you get one of those white plastic barrels over to the right, and they put it in your house. They come by every few days and fill up with water. And for a toilet, you get a 5-gallon plastic bucket. It's affectionately called a honey bucket. Not full of honey, but that's what it is. The North Shore Borough, the local government, has a crew that comes out. You call them up, you say, my bucket's full.
they knock on your door, and they say, Coke Tack man, Honey Bucket man, and you hand them last week's groceries, and they pour it in the truck and give your bucket back.
And it's a very interesting place. Like, it looks like things have not changed here in a long time.
They have, but subtle changes. There's a Honey Bucket. That's somebody's bucket of used groceries.
So that's some poop and puke.
Yeah, they set them outside in the summertime.
There's another one over there.
Yeah, the truck just comes by and empties it, and then turns it upside down to let you know that it's empty. Then you go come out and get it put it back in your house. You always have two. You got one you're using and one that's sitting outside.
And only 5% have that.
Yep. This house here, this is an actual house.
That's a house.
With a white door. It's 12 by 16 house. It's one room. In that one room, they have a water barrel, a honey bucket, a cook stove, a heat stove, and a TV on the wall. Now here's the beauty of it. There's 4 adults living in there, 2 sisters, 1 husband, 1 boyfriend. The bucket sits in the corner. It doesn't even have a wall or a curtain or nothing around it. So if you're in there talking with them and watching TV and you got no body, you go in the corner, and while everybody else is 3 feet away having a sandwich watching a football game, you're dropping trout.
Do you know them?
Yeah.
Okay.
You better be really good friends, and you won't want to pass on that second burrito for lunch because you're sitting in the same room with everybody else.
Everyone's watching you poop.
Yeah. Well, they don't even watch. I mean, they get used to it. Yeah. You know,
You're just, I could imagine.
There's 2 buckets there. They're waiting to get emptied. There's a couple buckets up there. These little places are duplexes. Joe Tugley built those about 20 years ago. He was 84 years old. He knew he was dying. He wasn't going to live forever. So he built those. They're duplexes. No running water. They got lights and gas and a water barrel and a honey bucket. And his wife gets $1,000 a month each side, so she gets $6,000 a month, and he did that so she'd have money to live on when he died.
So, you look at this and you would think that these people did not have a lot of money.
They got tons of money.
They do. They get probably $50K each from the oil.
At least.
At least. So.
Last Thursday, every native got $3,200 each.
On Thursday?
Yeah, for a quarter.
Each.
And so there's a husband and wife and 8 kids got $32,000 in one day.
In a month, in a quarter.
Yeah, in a quarter, and they'll get it again, around Christmas.
So they just live.
Bingo, groceries, and cigarettes.
Bingo, where's bingo? There's a bingo hall here?
Yeah, we're gonna go right by.
So bingo's, groceries, cigarettes, and the rest they just put in the bank and.
Bank? No, they carry around with them. Nobody uses the bank everywhere. I mean, non-natives do, but.
So they just sit on their money and just save
When
it
they
up.
want something, they go buy a snow machine or a rifle or whatever. See, here's a bunch of buckets. This guy saved them up for a couple of days, so he's waiting to get them empty.
And they just seem content with this is who I am, this is how I want to live.
And that's exactly right.
And that's not fancy, and I'm kind of think I got dough, and I don't feel like spending it.
This is Sam and Lee.
Yeah, I ate that this morning.
It's good record. Mrs. Kim's a nice lady.
Who's Sam, the man or woman?
Neither one.
Okay, it's like the tiger hat guy. I kept seeing him driving around town. I didn't know if that was Sam.
No, it's Mr. and Mrs. Kim.
Okay.
And neither one of them's Sam, neither one of them's Lee.
Okay.
It used to be Sam and Lee's, and then Mr. and Mrs. Kim bought it from them, and they just left the name the same. It's in fact, this is my house. There used to be a 2-lane road.
Oh, I just came down there.
There used to be a 2-lane road that went right in front of the palm trees.
Uh-huh.
That's gone this summer.
Only because sea level rise.
No, it didn't rise, just big storms.
Just big storms.
There's nothing in the sand. There's nothing in the sand to hold together. There's no vegetation, no plant life, no big rocks, no nothing. So when the waves hit it, and it's been a warm summer, and the warmer it gets, and the wind blows from the west, it blows moisture up against the sand and thaws it out. It just sloughs up into the. If this is the ice, polar ice pack, and it comes in, pushed up against the shore. My hand being the shore. Okay, underneath here are shrimp and krill. The Arctic cod go underneath the ice and eat the shrimp and krill. The seals swim around the outside of the ice or up between the cracks, and they eat the Arctic cod, and they get tired, they rest on the ice, and the polar bears live on the ice and walk the ice and eat the seal.
So where are the polar bears right now?
Out on the ice, 100 miles out.
Oh, they're way out there. So they're waiting until the ice comes in, and then they
The
come
food's under the ice, so that's where they are.
100 miles.
How far is it to 400? To the North Pole?
1,200.
What's 400? Russia?
Mhm.
That way or that way more? Okay, so Russia's 400 miles directly across.
Yeah, Mongolia, Russia, Siberia.
Oh, there's the.
Dispensary 1 and 2.
Is that the Arctic Sub-Zero one? There's one called Below Zero.
No,
That's not.
that's Arctic Dispensary. And Arctic Cannabis. The killer is you can't buy a beer in town, but you can buy a fatty.
I don't know if you can.
That blows you away.
Well, I heard that the reason that Vero is doing pretty well is because they banned booze, unlike some of the other villages.
Well, they didn't ban that, but they make you get it's a long process. You gotta go to the police department and get a background check. Most of the people can't pass a background check. They got DUIs and domestic violence issues. And then you gotta get a permit, you gotta renew it every year for $100.
But they make it a lot harder to consume alcohol than they do in,
You can just go here and get.
in the other villages.
Now, this is our super Walmart.
I'm in there today, yeah. You called it the super Walmart?
Yeah, it's the flower shop, the flower shop, the laundromat, the dry cleaner, the fur shop, the flower shop, the cigarette, souvenirs, soda pop, and Western Union. And Stacy owns it, and we always tell her, if you don't need it, or if she don't have it, you don't need it.
I was in there today and thought the same thing.
Yeah.
So they got a little bit of everything in there.
There's the sandbag they're gonna put down my house. They figure it's gonna take 150 to 200 to fill it up to get it back up to street level so that it doesn't slope off into the ocean.
Yeah, I imagine everybody in town knows everybody's business.
So, no more than that, yeah. This house, I'm talking about housing prices, see, it's empty, story and a half, you can tell the windows are broke out, it's burned out shell. It's half hanging over the cliff on the backside.
Yeah.
And the guy who wants to sell it, he wants 62.5, and he said he'd throw in the pickup truck.
There you go, YouTube. 62.5, and you can have beachfront property in Alaska. And a truck to get into town.
This one over here is a duplex. It's a 3-bedroom up, 2-bedroom down, separate entrances.
Yeah.
8 years ago, that sold for $550,000.
$550 for that. So, is it difficult to find people to do labor, like fix things, put siding on, fix?
There's only a couple of companies that do it.
So, is that part of the reason that a lot of the stuff is like not fixed? Because
Nobody cares.
They just don't care.
They
It's
don't
more
care.
about
I
they
mean,
just don't care.
you're warm and you're inside. You don't care what the outside looks like.
Yeah. Yeah. I just didn't know if it was also part of it was that it's hard to get people to.
You know, until 75 years ago, they didn't have houses. They lived in camps around nomadic tribes.
In like cloth teepee type tents?
Tents and stuff like that, or ice houses, igloos.
Igloos. They were living in igloos here 75 years ago?
They're usually for hunting camps.
Okay.
Now these sod huts, you see the mounds here?
Yes, I want
The depression in the middle?
Yeah.
Okay, that's an old sod hut. Instead of using snow blocks, they would use frozen tundra. Cut them 2 feet square, stack them up, and make them look like an igloo. You know, the round with the little trail to get in. And you had to sleep on permafrost, so it was cold. So you put caribou skins, reindeer skins, and seal skins inside to keep it, keep you off the ground. And you put as many of your relatives in there as you could because body heat was the only thing you had to heat it with.
So I got a question.
And I got an answer.
There's about 5 cab companies in town.
All Asians.
All Asian owned, I guess.
Yep.
It's either when a car drives by, it's likely going to be a oil work truck, a 4-wheeler, or a cab.
Yeah.
This town is not big enough, I would think, to support 4 cab companies.
Well, they got 5, I think 4 or 5 cab companies. Each one's got about 4 vehicles.
Yeah.
But nobody drives. I mean, people get their license and then they get drunk and they get them taken away. So, and a vehicle costs about $15,000 to get the vehicle up here.
Oh.
And $8 a gallon for gas or $7 a gallon for gas. So by the time you get it, when oil is $300, and by the time you get all that stuff, it's cheaper to take a taxi for $5. Okay, I know you got airport security in North Carolina.
Yeah.
This is our airport security right here.
Oh, look at the fence. You can just walk right through that fence.
It just ends. Yeah, if you were a terrorist, if you were a terrorist, you go over here and drive up on the runway and do whatever you want to do.
I got it. Yeah, look at that. That is a trip. Nothing surprised me since we've been in this state, Mike. I tell you, it is just.
I've lived here over 50 years. It still doesn't even surprise me. Every once in a while, I go, that's kind of weird, you know.
So there's the entire supply of gasoline.
Diesel, gasoline, and jet fuel.
For 1 year.
Yeah.
And then how did they bring that on?
Arctic Slope Regional Corporation they bring like 2 or 3 barges, park them down by the beach, and run 3-inch hoses up to those tanks and fill them all up.
Food, travel, hotels, leisure. Try it now.
Welcome to the Reckless in Thailand.
Just because people are rich doesn't mean they're not trashy. I would be surprised if they're actual killers.
It's about to get crazy.
You're not gonna get rid of me that easy. I'll tell you it's the next night and the next.
No, that's all the satellite dishes for communications and everything else. You know, something interesting about these things. What's the difference between these and the ones you have in North Carolina? The angle. Yours point up in the air, and ours point 1 degree over the horizon. Because our satellites are below the horizon, so we got to shoot out to a relay station, then down to the satellite, then back up to the relay station and over here. So this one was started in like 1980. So this is how many people have kicked the bucket since 80. That's a lot. Yeah, it's a lot.
Is the
We have 3 or 4 funerals a week. It seems like.
in Little Era?
Yeah.
Is the
It's an old population. Well, young people are stupid. Old people, you know, they're just weak.
up here?
Yeah. You know, they're really good Christians because they're drunk on Friday and Saturday and sitting in front on Sunday. So, you know, they're very religious. Yeah, they're very religious. Anybody can be buried here, black, white, native, non-native, doesn't make any difference. You just gotta be dead. If you're not dead, they won't put you in. The ones with the whale bones, you were asking about the whale bones, that just started a few years, well, about 20 years ago. They started putting the whale bones over the grave sites of people that were prominent in the whaling community. Maybe they were a captain, maybe they were the son of a captain, maybe they died during the whale hunt. And so they put those whale bones up there to honor them and let people know that those were barrel whalers.
Is whaling considered I guess
Honorable thing. Honorable, yeah. Yeah, that's what they do. I mean, they get 20, they get 25 whales a year, so you know, there's a lot of whaling families. Not all of them get whales. I mean, there's like 48 whaling crews, and not all of them get whales every year, but, you know,
is the life expectancy,
when I first came up here, the life expectancy was about 50. And now it's considerably over. It's 20, 30 years past that. Because, I mean, they live in little tiny houses, everybody smoked, and they all had kerosene or you know, some kind of fuel oil lamps. So all that stuff was in the air and people died at 50. If you knew somebody that was 50 or, you know, years old, that was like an antique and an ancient guy in town. And
now it's in what year?
72.
That.
And now it's up to about, you know, there's people, we've had a couple in the 90s.
What is rent? If I was gonna rent an average house, like let's say this whole ground deal,
that's a huge place.
That's a huge place. So about $2 grand. So this little tan one, what would that rent for?
The yellow one?
Right here, yellow, yeah.
Yeah, it's probably, I'd say between 15 and 2,000.
Okay, that's just about average with the U.S.
The utilities.
And what do you think that house would cost?
Oh God, I don't know. My place, you see my place, I was offered $480 for it, turned it down because I make that much every 6 years of rent.
It's a little bit more expensive, but it's kind of all wrong.
I got a place. I got a single family dwelling and 2 duplexes a duplex. And the duplex is the rooms, the places are 24 by 20. and it's on 2 different lots, and I sold the whole mess of them, and I'm getting $435,000. It's right across the street from Mr. and Mrs. Karen.
So all of the
See, there's caribou up on top of the house.
So all the debris, the trucks, all the throw
You don't throw anything away because you never know when you'll need a piece off that truck to fix the blender you just got from Amazon.
Okay.
And it's caribou lives in it.
Caribou lives where, oh God, that's caribou lives? Good Alaskan.
So they have a reindeer and caribou. That's a caribou up on top of the roof there hanging. You tell it's caribou because the hair is a little longer, a little bigger, and white. A reindeer is a little darker, shorter hair, and smaller. If you can't tell the difference, because they look almost identical, if you hook them the same sleigh, the reindeer can fly, but the caribou can't.
So they do that to.
No. No, they just let that hang out there. They'll use it for like cover their snow machine. If they they're just drying it. If they go on hunting, they'll do it on the fire.
I meant drying it out.
Sorry.
You're worried too much. And actually, I mean, you ask somebody, what the hell are you going to do with that?
Yeah.
Well, I got an uncle that says he's going to, oh, God, shut up. They're not going to do anything with that except, it'll just give some kid an infection if he cuts his finger on it. What's that?
So,
yeah, they kind of swiped that from the base when they were building Quonset huts out there, and somehow it ended up in town. This is the only paved road in Barrow.
I noticed,
There's a law somewhere that says you gotta have a paved road in front of that. Yeah, so here it is.
So crime-wise,
Mostly domestic violence and kid crimes. Stealing snow machines or 4-wheelers or joyriding cars. Domestic violence, the woman gets drunk and beats the husband gets drunk and beats the wife, and then the cop shows up and they try to beat him up. It's usually alcohol fueled.
so thefts and booze related.
Yeah. And it's like once a year we'll get a murder.
Once a year now.
Yeah. Well, it's because people get drunk and they, lose their mind, do things they know they shouldn't do, but they do it because they're drunk.
So what does Barrow think of Laura Collier? Do they even think about it at all? Do they feel like they're in the U.S. here?
Yeah, there's a sense of pride, pride and all the holidays, 4th of July, are big and all that stuff. They enjoy it, but I don't know if they're Eskimos first and U.S. citizens second, I believe.
Do they vote?
Yeah. I don't know. I know the city elections, it's pretty hard for sometimes.
And what percent of Barrow is native? Half?
Yeah, about 2,400. There's a radio station right there.
What was this thing here?
It was the information center for the borough, all computers, the information was stored there. They cut fire and burned off, and we didn't have any computers, information, telephones, nothing for 3 weeks. Till they got relocated. Traffic light's the only one in town. It's been there 46 years. I've never seen it blink.
So it's a traffic light that is not light.
Right. Somewhere there's got to be a law that says you have to have a traffic light by a school crossing. They didn't say it had to work. You just got to have a traffic light up there. So, my God, there it is.
So do most of the native folks live on the south end and on the north end?
No, everybody lives everywhere. Okay. We have one little area out in Brownsville. It's little Samoa. Yeah, a lot of Samoans bought houses out there. They have their own little community, but I mean, they interact with everybody. Nobody thinks any less of them.
The hospital has 3 doctors.
Yeah.
Eight.
Yeah, medical rooms. Like residential hospital. Yeah. And so there's no waiting.
Is it hard to convince doctors to come up here and
No. They pay them a lot of freaking money. You give them housing. Yeah, the teachers get housing too. The one with a great wage.
How many people move up here and what, like, do more people come up here, try it, take a job, and then go, hell no, and leave, or do a lot of them stick around than you would think?
Some of them stick around. It doesn't seem like, it seems like the Pacific Islanders and Filipinos and Asians, they come up and stay until they get their money, until they get money up and they retire and leave. But a lot of the other people, like white people, they come in, they get the 2 years so they can put it on their resume and then leave town.
So, like government type contracting, science stuff.
Teaching anything.
College, yeah.
Yeah, come on. Work for a couple years and say I did it, and then leave. I will not
Why do you think the Asian folks stay and the white folks
They
leave?
don't do anything for money, and you make a lot of money. I mean, if you're eating rice and living in a paper shack in the Philippines, or you can come here and after 1 year you can go back and buy a house in the Philippines. I mean, which would you rather do?
So there's no homeless people in there.
Well, there are, but everybody takes them in. I mean, obviously they can't stay outside.
Yeah.
And every winter, people freeze up. You know, they'll find a building to crawl into and think they got 1 more week until they find, they got to find someplace to live.
Yeah. So look at the size of that.
That's the grocery store.
How do you say that?
Stormfront.
Stormfront. That's a giant. Yeah. The biggest grocery store in town.
Yeah, it's the biggest anything.
It is. The cost of the groceries, I went inside the grocery store and it looked to be pretty expensive.
Very expensive.
There were some things that looked sort of normal. $100 for a box of diapers I saw.
Yeah.
What's the most outrageously priced grocery item that you?
I remember watermelon a couple summers ago. Watermelon was $10 a pound.
What is? So how much an average watermelon weigh?
10 or 12 pounds.
So $100 watermelon?
Yeah.
$100 people buy it.
And diapers, I told my wife, if we were, we got 3 sons. I said, if we were raising kids up here now and buy a box of diapers, where it says 12 to 16 pounds on the diaper, there'd be 16 pounds in that diaper before I change it. Just
Marami bang kailangan sa kanya? Wala naman masyado. Gusto mo ba tayo di naman kailangan? O ikaw?
Legit ba yung pala?
Legit. Pwede sila. Hindi. Plastic pan. Ay, hindi mo ba? Wala, white. Pwede mo hiram. Tapos, 25,000. Pwede mo hiram. At wala na dito. Pwede mo makuha ng mga dito mo. Hindi kaya. Tama na maraming tanong. Tama na kaya. Ano ba ito? May tanong ka? Ito muna.
Last year, survivor. Get it today.
the Spanish flu hit Merrill in 1916, killed a bunch of people, and this little cemetery is where they buried them. And they're shallow graves, they dig them by hand. So they're shallow graves. So now with the ground thawing out, everybody's getting kind of concerned as the ground thaws out, did that virus stay viable when it was frozen? And as the ground thaws out, is the virus going to become active? And it's going to be, I'll be gone by then, so I'm not worried.
So we might get Spanish outbreak.
Could have a Spanish flu outbreak.
It's going to be like in one of those crazy sci-fi movies when the scientist is walking around with his little spectrometer and Spanish flu located remote village.
When we have honey buckets only, this is where we dump them. We just dump 40 years of raw sewage. That building across the lagoon over there it's called that's the sewage treatment plant. That's where they process the sewage and they pump it down to another lagoon down here, put chemicals and bacteria in it to try and calm it down, purify it a little bit, and then after a year, in the spring when it's ice on the top, and as soon as that ice gets soggy and heavy, and sinks down to the bottom and stirs that whole bottom up. You go by here at about 80 miles an hour. It's bad.
So they don't put the goods in there anymore.
No.
But it's still all.
They don't know what to do with it.
Yeah.
It's 40 years of raw sewage. I have tourists when I was doing tours all year round. They say, we want to come up here in the week of Christmas, between Christmas and New Year's. I said, why? Well, we want to see the dark and the cold. I said, where do you live? And they said, Florida. I said, go in the kitchen, stick your head in the freezer, and turn the light off. And there you go. You know, that's, and they come up here, and I had one couple, young couple, nice folks, but they booked for 10 days here. And after the first day, I took them on
10 days in there?
Yeah, and I said, what the hell are you going to do now? He goes, well, I don't know. We were hoping you'd tell us what to do. And I said, yeah, go home. What's the matter with you? There's nothing to do.
What did they end up doing?
Sitting in the room, walking around. They have the Eskimo games from Christmas till New Year's. But then the few days before Christmas and a few days after New Year's, there's nothing going on. There's nothing to do. You just sit. That's it. It's knuckle hop and high kick and arm wrestling and thumb wrestling and finger wrestling. And this is the Naval Arctic Research Lab. It was a science lab from 1940 to 1980, and they were doing research on sea mammals, the whales, the walruses, the seals, that kind of stuff, out on and the bears out on the ice. This is a college. They built a college out here. Anybody that lives in Barrow for 30 days, you're on the North Shore, for 30 days becomes a resident and go to college.
This is the college.
Yeah. These are light blue buildings.
Yeah.
That's carpentry and plumbing. The one back there is industrial. These Quonset huts are all teacher housing, and they use them for UIC shareholder housing and stuff like that. They run them out. Outside they look like crap.